So fasting is not, have it on screen, is not abstaining from food or other things that we already dislike. Number two, fasting, it is not a diet. Might I even say, it is not a Christian diet. Now, as a result of a period of prayer and fasting, you will look good. Let me tell you that. You will look good. You will look slim. You will look toned. But it is not a diet. That reminds me of this story of this guy. Funny story. Guy loves donuts. But he was doing a fast. And so one day he shows up to the office with a box of donuts. And so his coworker was like, dude, what's up with the donuts? I thought you were on a fast. And so he said, well, I drove by the donut store this morning and I prayed to God. I said, God, if you don't want me to have these donuts, please let there not be a parking space in front of the donut store. And he said, sure enough, after I drove 8 times around the block, there was a parking space right in front of the donut store. It is not a diet. Fasting is not a way to earn an answer to a prayer. That's not why we fast. It's not somehow that if I fast, I can manipulate God to answer some prayers of mine. That's not what fasting is. Fasting is about the posture of our hearts, where we draw closer. It creates space for us to experience more of God. Fasting is not to show how holy we are. Oh, this is really important. In fact, this is so important that Jesus had a lot to say about this. In Matthew 6, when Jesus talks about fasting, here's what Jesus says as our posture. Jesus says, and when you fast. Notice Jesus doesn't say, and if you fast. Jesus doesn't say, and you must fast. Jesus says, and when you fast. Why? Because fasting is not a commandment in the Bible. You will never find a scripture that says, you must fast. So fasting is not commanded, but Jesus talks about it as if it is expected of the believer. I want to give us a few options so that all of us can participate on the different types of fast. One is what we call a selective fast. And so I want you to prayerfully consider this week how God is leading you. Now, your fast has to be challenging, but you also have to approach it with wisdom. Probably consult a medical professional, and we have a bunch of those in this room. But do it with wisdom, but also make it a prayerful exercise. A selective fast is simply where we remove certain elements from our diet. One example would be a Daniel fast, where you remove certain ingredients, no meats, sweets, desserts, breads, Filipinos, rice from your diet. Selective fast. Second kind of fast is what we call a partial fast. Sometimes it's known as the Jewish fast. It could be where you fast during certain hours of the day, sun up to sundown. It could be a meal during the day. Remember, it has to work for you. It's not about the fast, it's about the posture of our hearts as we engage the next 21 days. Here's a third option. It's called the soul fast. Maybe there are some health challenges you're facing that would make it impossible for you to engage in fasting food. Here's some options. A soul fast. A soul fast is where we give up a habit or a thing that we rely on instead of God. Maybe it's social media, it's Netflix, shopping, Starbucks, whatever it is. And it's great for those who are unable to fast food. This last one, please proceed with caution. Really prayerfully approach this if this is where the Lord is leading you, and seek some medical counsel. Complete fast, where it's no food, liquids, liquids only. Drink plenty of water, shakes, juices as necessary. But wherever God is leading you, hey, do this as a family. I invite you on this journey. Let's put God first, and as we seek him, all these things will be added to you. Now, when you come back next week, we will have a 21-day guide printed and prepared for you. Pastor Peter will introduce that next week. And so when you come in, we'll have that guide ready for you so you can journey along with us for the next 21 days.